Hey everybody, Kimo Sapi here with the moment you've all been waiting for. Wow, what a sell-off. Well done. I'm glad I stayed out of that. We have no hint of an uptrend just yet, so I'd like to see some basing out maybe and reverse, or we just close back above the daily open and then we'll look for buy setups from there. You might be able to nibble some down at the low, but I think this low gets taken out again. But as you can see, we're hitting support, 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 support. And I think this was the level 50% of, was it a weekly wick or a daily wick, was right there at all those supports, coming back down to that support. So we will see if that holds. Certainly had some nice volume there, but that doesn't mean it's going to hold. They may want to swipe these lows and get down to these lows, which would be that 50% retrace of this impulse up. Just take that liquidity along with that low, because that's kind of what the market just does. It takes the liquidity up, takes the liquidity down, takes the liquidity up. It might take it to the downside. It may have enough right here. So not a guarantee, but I wanted to measure out the current move down from all-time high, from previous all-time high to this weird structure here, and then project it from current all-time high. And we are getting to the 1-to-1 fib extension. The 1272 is down at 87. So this would be the area of interest that I would be looking for this to be complete. So need a little basing and a little accumulation maybe, or an engulfing candle of some sort that I could base a trade off of. I'm going to draw out what I'm seeing here. We can consider this some kind of ABC up. And consider this being an ABC down to match with this ABC down. Then a corrective wave, and now that leg appears to be matching that one. So the whole analysis that I had before being more bullish got invalidated with that weekly candle close below the middle of the range and been dropping ever since. So did not get an uptrend out of there, so there was nothing to buy. And it's always on the table that you will end up matching a different leg. So out of here, what can potentially be expected is this leg to repeat back up to here to back test that channel. Not sure if the channel is going to be even relevant in the future, but that is some kind of breakdown. So that would be a breakdown back test. You'd get some selling to come in there, mimicking that leg here. And we'll chop around here for a few weeks before it turns bullish, maybe. Or it just gets mega bullish. So in Elliot wave terms, you would see this as like an ABC wave 4, and what's expected is a sharp impulse wave 5 up. If that happens, you're likely to have a top very, very soon, and it's likely to not go as high. I mean, it could go as high as it wants, but the measurement would target likely the height of this range and project that from the high. So your top would be around 125 to 128K. Or if you repeat that pattern over here, then March becomes the time frame where you're going to be uber bullish. But the market has to keep itself propped up until then. So we are in the bearish section of this range, the lower section. So we might chop this around a little bit before maybe grabbing lower liquidity or breaking up, or both. The price action would be more bullish with daily candle closes above 100K, especially with a weekly candle close above 100K. That's kind of what you want to see. So far not getting it. Our weekly candle close was at 97.6. So that's the area to beat. Some price action to look for here is a potential 1 hour close high, and then maybe a sweep of the lows and then close a higher high. If you do end up getting that, then you know to base your risk off of the low and expect some kind of uptrend to take liquidity, maybe back test that range. Another thing you want to watch for is a fake break of the range to the downside. If this chops around a little bit, comes down to 87, maybe 85, but I'm kind of expecting 87.5, and then pops back up, gets back in the range. This becomes your invalidation, your stop loss, because you took all the liquidity and you're back up inside the range. So that might be what is at play here, is another stab down after an accumulation. If you see a strong close up, back around 100K, maybe above 97, that would look like it's going up. But you might just be matching this pattern, and we might chop like this for a while before going back down. I'd really not like that. I say let's start closing some bullish candles and get an uptrend going right out of here, just because I like the way the pattern is matching with this. It really looks good on the total 3 that I saw, and you've had many of the shit coins really take a nosedive and came to some areas of significance and took out a lot of stop losses. So I'm liking the way this is looking. I'd like it even more if we get this move out of here. And that would tell me to buy this and then expect up. If trying to catch the knife on this action, my invalidation would be way down at 82,800. I wouldn't want to see it go down there. I wouldn't even like to see it trade down there, but it could. But definitely no closes below that. Close below that, I'd probably expect lower. We'd probably be in markdown phase. You'd probably find this as resistance thereafter if you get that low. If we break the range lows, I just want to see a quick pop down and a break back inside. But if you're coming down deep like that, you come back up, back test that as resistance, and you'd probably enter a markdown phase. So I don't want to see 83 now, based on the current price, the way it's acting. Kind of don't want to see it go down there anymore. I like it right around where we're at, in between 87 and 92 for a buy. But I need to see a change in behavior first. So be watching the lower time frames for buy setups. Yeah, as I was doing this video, I just put a channel on there on the downtrend and ended up not holding the downward sloping channel. However, something that I have noticed Bitcoin do in the past, I haven't actually checked it in a while for doing it, but price action breaking below the channel, getting back inside the channel before breaking up. So that could be something. But yeah, we need to see some strong bullish price action coming out of here. So far, don't see much. Probably come back and back test at least half of this wick down at 92.5, but I'm suspecting that those lows get taken out sometime, maybe tomorrow morning. And then maybe tomorrow we have a nice green day and see if this price can reverse and get some price action like that moving up. Might be back up at 100K by end of day. And then chop around and see if it pushes higher. So looking for a potential buy setup in this area. The 1 hour chart might give it to you. So far, the area to beat on a 1 hour candle close is 98,000. So 1 hour candle up above there. Say, hey, try to buy the pullback. Even if it swipes the low, but then still closes a higher low, your stop loss becomes that wick. If you end up getting that type of price action. Looking at this, we might be mimicking this over here. Bounce up, come right back down, take out the low, and then reverse back up. Or we start getting some engulfing candles here, and the price just remains strong. As a day trader on the 1 hour chart right here, I can see a sell set up right there at 95.5. So that might be an area of resistance. Break back above these candles, and you might be pushing high and might be back above the daily open. If you're back above the daily open, that's a very bullish sign. So watch for resistances at 95.5 and the daily open at 97,500 area. That closes above that by the pullback. I hope that was helpful. And you guys can have a good night and keep your stops tight. If you find an entry, keep your stops tight. You could try this as a stop loss. I just think that gets taken out. But it's not a bad stop loss. There's a lot of volume there on the push down, and the next candle refused to go lower um, and bounce back up pretty substantially on high volume. So that was a lack of progress. So we're either going to see an accumulation range here, or that'll be a reversal. If it does end up having an accumulation range here, it's likely to take out that low before reversing. And if it just starts engulfing right here and going straight up, that would be your stop loss. So we'll see how the waves progress. You might have a little accumulation here. Don't need to rush. Wait for an uptrend to start, at least on a 1 hour, because you've been in a 1 hour downtrend all weekend and there was no change in behavior. So this may close right here. This might come back down, close a higher high, then try to buy that higher low and see if you can get a little uptrend going. So keep your stops tight and have a good night.